Thank you. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the 2019 State of the City Address. I'm Barb Monticelli with the Economic Development Department, and it's so wonderful to see such a great group of people here today, including business owners, manufacturers, merchants, educators, and residents, which all help make Painesville a great place to live and work. We are thrilled to be hosting another event here at the beautiful Steele Mansion in the Gathering Hub. What a great, delicious breakfast, right? Wonderful. Many thanks to Carol Schmakian and her staff for taking care of us today. If you're interested in a tour afterwards, Carol loves showing off her Steele Mansion. So please make sure you ask her or wander around. She has all the rooms open upstairs, lights on. She would love you to browse around afterwards. I would like to start today by acknowledging the elected officials that are with us. We have Jerry Serino, Lake County Commissioner. We have John Hambercheck, Lake County Commissioner also. Paul Hack, Painesville City Council President, Ward 4. Christine Shoup, City Council Vice President, Ward 1. Katie Jenkins, City Council, Ward 2. Nick Augustine, City Council, Ward 3. Tom Fitzgerald, City Council at Large. Jim Fodor, City Council at Large, and Lori Dinalo, City Council at Large. Thank you very much for all your service. Now, if I can take a minute to introduce some of our city staff here with us today. We have Doug Lewis, Assistant City Manager, Kevin Aiken, Water Pollution Control Superintendent, Brian Belfori, Public Works Director, Kathy Biederman, Economic Development Director, Randy Bruback, Infrastructure Director, Nick Sidrick, Clerk of Court, Leanne Exum, City Engineer, Thomas Hubble, Fire Chief, Amanda Kappel, Administrative Assistant to the City Manager, Michelle LaPuma, Director of Public Lands and Recreation, Christy McBride, Chief Deputy Clerk, Jeff McHugh, Electric Plant Superintendent, Tara Schuster, Finance Department, Andy Unetic, Finance Director, Bob Vargo, Assistant Engineer, Val Vargo, Clerk of Council, Dan Waterman, Chief of Police, Lynn White, City Planner. And I have to say, it's a real honor to work with such a great team of people at City Hall. Let's give them a round of applause. We are very happy to have Painesville Credit Union back again as our sponsor this year. Without your support, events like this would not be possible. And thanks to them, you're all going home with a great password journal on the table today. What a nice treat to take home and back to your office. At this time, I'd like to welcome CEO Lori Ghazi to the podium to tell us a little bit about Painesville Credit Union and her team that's with her today. Please let's welcome Lori.
As she told you, my name is Lori Guzzi and I'm CEO of Painesville Credit Union, and I want to thank you for giving us the opportunity again to sponsor this event. I'd like to take a moment to acknowledge my board president, Ken Tagus, Vice President David Shuck, Director Rex Butts, Director Mike Williams, and Chief Operations Officer Lynn Clark. Some of you know Painesville Credit Union was started in 1942 by 7 city workers in the city garage. Today we are located at 280 North St. Clair Street across from the post office. We're a full-service financial institution with 77 years of community roots. Credit union philosophy of people helping people is what we strive for every day. Because of that, we have some exciting things coming up this year we wanted to let you know about. April is Youth Month in credit union world, so the entire month of April is going to be dedicated to educating our youth on finances. $5 starts a savings account, and we'll be hosting events and specials all month, making financial education fun for kids of all ages. Teaching our young people about finances, savings, and goal setting makes for very successful adults, and we want to be part of that. June is our Senior Appreciation Month. We'll be planning specials and events to educate seniors on financial soundness, fraud prevention, and identity protection. Did you know that 37% of our seniors are victims of financial abuse? It's our job to educate and protect them. October is International Credit Union Month, and we'll be having specials for all our members, including lunch, raffle prizes, and more. Our goal is to raise awareness of all the good credit unions do in the community all over the world and right here. Last but not least, we have donated a raffle basket for today. Last week and this week I was visiting some of our local businesses and I explained to them about people helping people and what our philosophy is. The basket is full of goodies from businesses all over Painesville that just wanted to be part of that. So I'd like to invite each of you to the credit union. We'll give you a tour, have a chat, and see if there's anything we can do to help make your life a little easier. Thank you.
Thank you, Lori. We really do appreciate it. And once Monica's done speaking, we will be raffling out that beautiful basket. Next, I would like to introduce our city manager, Monica Ireland Doopy. She will be presenting a brief overview of what's happening in Painesville and will be open for your questions at the end. Monica came to Painesville in December 2016 after almost 10 years experience under her belt serving as the city manager of Napoleon and assistant city manager of Grosse Pointe Farms and the city of Troy. As Painesville City Manager, Monica oversees all city departments, including water, wastewater, electric, police, fire and EMS, public works, building and zoning, parks and recreation, human resources, finance, and economic development. If that wasn't enough, Monica also serves on the Downtown Painesville Organization Board, the Forbes House Board, and the Torchlight Youth Mentoring Alliance Board. She is a 2018 graduate of Leadership Lake County and sits on subcommittees for American Municipal Power. She is also a proud dog mom to Buster, a German Shepherd, and was married last fall to her husband Steve. Please welcome Monica Ireland Doopy.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you for taking the time to be here this morning. As Barb said, I've been here about 2 years, and I am still amazed at the amount of passion and hope that the people of Painesville have. For the last 2 years, my staff and I have been working very hard to build relationships with our nonprofits, our education systems, our county, and our peer municipalities. This is absolutely necessary for us to be able to do our day-to-day, but more importantly, to move the city forward into the future. Guided by the council's strategic plan, we have been aligning key partners to help move the city into the future. Goal number 1 of the plan is to develop a framework to strengthen leadership. We have actually been working with Lakeland Community College Nonprofit Center to try and put education opportunities in place for those who are interested in running for council, and then once they are a council member, helping to educate them on what the job actually is and the duties that come along with it. This is important for the council people to understand their positions so that they can properly lead the community into the future. We also lean heavily on local, national, and state associations to help educate council on issues that are important to the community. These include the Ohio Municipal League, American Public Power, and other associations. A leadership does not stop at council level. It's important for us to educate our department heads and our supervisors and the boots on the ground. So we've been doing internal training opportunities. We've partnered with the Diversity Center of Northeast Ohio and Ease at Work to bring opportunities to our staff to learn about things such as unconscious biases. Goal number 2 was to strengthen communications and engagement. We started by hiring a new communications coordinator. Kathleen Sullivan's been with us since April of last year, and since she's been here, she's implemented a strategic social media strategy, increased exposure through media and press releases, and has led the rebranding effort of 2018. We partnered with an outside firm, Guide Studio, to do our branding. This was an amazing opportunity to reach out to our public and our businesses, and we held 46 focus groups, and we received 609 online surveys. Out of all of that information, we were able to understand the negative perceptions of our community. Under Community Communications and Engagement, one of the largest objectives was to start addressing the negative perception. Our negative perceptions are bad schools, being impoverished and dangerous, and being old and stagnant. Alongside these, we put in place an ambassador program. The ambassador program aligns a council member with a staff member to go after key areas of our community. The idea is to build healthy relationships to help address these negative perceptions. So let's go back to the negative perceptions. Bad schools. From what we heard in the surveys, those who actually have students in our school system love our school system. They see the opportunities that are available to our students that you don't see in other school districts. So we are encouraged by those who have students here to look past the grade card. The school is also aware of this perception and has been working with the community on community conversations. Some of the staff members and I have been at these community conversations to hear what the community has to say. And what's great is that some of the areas to address these concerns meet and align with the strategic plan that we're working on. Items like increased collaboration and positive communication and more activities for our students. The school has also asked for action volunteers, for which I have happily signed up for, so that the school and the city can continue to work together to improve for our community. Impoverished and dangerous. Most people in Lake County do remember a time when your parents told you not to walk the streets of Painesville. We're not exactly proud of that time in our history, but that's not the current reality. Over the past 20 years, we've dedicated a lot of resources and time to increase the safety of our community. And the statistics show it. So over the last 20 years, compared to the highest year of crime, robberies are down 80%, assaults are down 49%, domestic violence is down 33%, burglaries are down 55%, theft is down 49%, and criminal damage is down 63%. Thanks to our amazing police program, for the first time in nearly a decade, in 2018, our police department was fully staffed. Because of this, we were allowed to do more proactive work and was able to fill our detective bureau to go after those criminals. But we don't do it alone. We partner very closely with Lake County Narcotics. We have a liaison who works with them to set up numerous drug operations. We have worked with Lake County SWAT since 1994 and have actually increased our participation to 6 of our officers. The State Highway Patrol works with us to do patrol drug interdiction initiatives and operations. I'm trying to say that fast. Which has helped in our community. We also partner with Lake Erie College, who provides space for us to do regional training right here in Painesville. And that includes hosting 4 FBI Law Enforcement Executive Development Association trainings. We are also working very closely with Exxon Company, who's a leader in the less than lethal technology, to find other ways to handle criminals than lethal ways. In 2018, our police department worked with the Board of Education to hold an active shooter training event. This event was amazing, and I was able to sit and watch it. We actually brought people from agencies all over Lake County, including the drone team, and people from Ashtabula and Geauga. It was a huge turnout, it was a great success, and we look forward to doing more in 2019. Old and stagnant. So one thing that really came out in the surveys is that people love the history of Painesville. They expect us to protect that history and to find a way to embrace it. With that in mind, we partnered with the Downtown Painesville organization to create a National Register historic district in our downtown. They applied for an Ohio Pipeline Tax Credit grant and was given $12,000 to do the research necessary to put the historic district in place. The goal is to have the district in place by early 2020. The great thing about putting this district in place is that it will help the 54 buildings that have been designated to go after historic tax credits. If you don't understand the importance of historic tax credits, just take a minute and look around you. This building was days away from being demolished when the Shemakians took it over, and they used historic tax credits to bring it back to this grandeur. So, thank you, Carol.
We love you, Art.
So Painesville's not old and stagnant. We continue to find creative ways to grow the city. In 2018, we were pulled into a settlement on this piece of property. This is the old Line Co. property. So this is Heisley Park, Jackson Road, the 44 interchange, and the bridge that goes over to Shamrock. This piece of property has sat stagnant for years and was brought into a lawsuit into our courts. We were pulled in because we have assessments on the road that's there. Through a creative settlement, this piece of property is now in a new developer's hand, and they will be putting in approximately 165 single-family homes, a market rate senior housing piece, and then to the right will be all zoned for commercial. Businesses are investing in the city of Painesville. Air fluid regulators, with the collaboration of Lake County Commissioner Jerry Sereno, thank you, Jerry, we worked very hard to attract California Division of Aerofluid Products. This attraction brought 40 new jobs, $2.3 million in payroll, 35,000 square foot expansion, and $3.8 million capital investment. Residence on the Avenue is a senior housing piece that is proposed to go in next to the YMCA. This senior housing piece is in collaboration with our Painesville Senior Center, and they hope to put in a senior facility at the front of this. Painesville Dental Group. A new facility will be built right next to their current facility on Menor Avenue. I believe this is going to be a beautiful gem on that corner, and I look forward to seeing how it turns out. But other small businesses are investing as well. The Gage House is in new ownership, and offices are getting built on the second floor. They've also got a conditional use permit to do first floor events. Flowers on Main opened on Main Street. Old San Juan Jewelers opened on Main Street. Eastern Skate Revival opened on Main Street. Fairport Dance Academy, who has been at Fairport for 40 years, moved into Victoria Place and invested heavily in their space. Lux Auto Spa opened on the corner of Richmond and Chester. There's a new proposed corner market going in at 545 East Erie Street. And there were actually several new restaurants that opened in 2018. And if you're ever bored, there are plenty of activities going on in the city of Painesville. On a weekly basis, you can find something to do. Strengthening infrastructure. This took a lot of internal and external collaboration to get done. 5-year road plan. As you all know, the road conditions in Painesville have been a problem for the past decade. Between 2009 and 2013, the city only dedicated $1.9 million into their road system, which was approximately $393,000 a year. In 2013, the voters gave us a 5-year road levy, which gave us $3 million of dedicated funding, which we turned into $8.2 million in road projects. With the success of that, our voters gave us another 5 years. So we decided to be more transparent about where the money was going to go and how we were going to spend it. We ranked our roads using the ODOT standards and then prioritized them from worst to best. From there, we took all the engineering and water main breaks that we know of in our system and prioritized our water. We did the same with wastewater, and we did the same with sewer, and then we combined it all into one plan. So what we're doing is a far more comprehensive infrastructure improvement where we take into consideration all the utilities and underground prior to paving the road. Sidewalk program. In 2018, we put in place a sidewalk program, starting with city responsible sidewalks. So we're replacing the sidewalks that either our utilities or our trees have caused an issue. This is going to take a couple of years, but by 2020, we will be sending out the first segment of residential plaques that need to be replaced. The plan is an 8-year rotating cycle where every area of the city will be given 12 months to replace their damaged sidewalk blocks. Understanding the financial burden that a sidewalk program can have on our most vulnerable residents is a concern to us. So staff is investigating grant opportunities that we can help apply for our low to moderate income residents to find a reprieve for the burden of maintaining their sidewalks. Water intake project. This is a partnership with the Ohio EPA where we got a 0% interest loan on a $17 million water intake project. Currently, we are about 1,500 feet into Lake Erie, and the goal is 4,000 feet. And then we should be complete by fall of 2019. We did spend a significant time on electric infrastructure in 2018. So we hired an outside consultant to do an electric cost of service study and rate restructuring, which started in 2018. We also talked about automated metering infrastructure, which will allow us to collect far more data and keep customer service at a very high level for our residents. The last goal is to strengthen the future growth. At the Planning Commission level, the Planning Commission's working on a unified development code. This is pretty boring, so I'm sorry, but what it does is it takes our zoning code and it takes our planning code and it unifies it into one code, which actually helps build a great foundation for the future of the city. It'll also help us lead to construction standards and protecting the city from poor construction in the future. Late 2018, we implemented the Community Reinvestment Area number 5, which is all that bright green that's on the screen. This CRA actually is laid over the downtown area and the Richmond Street corridor, which we will be spending some time on in 2019. The new revitalization district will help us revamp the Richmond Street corridor. It also gives us a wonderful opportunity to collaborate with our school district on how we're going to share the revenue from these CRA districts. The land bank has been an invaluable partner in the endeavor to demolish condemned and unsafe structures in Painesville. John Rogers and the Land Bank Board have worked with us very closely, and we've demolished 36 structures to date. This helped remove unsafe structures from the community and open up the area for infill of better, more sustainable products. A dog park. No general fund money will be spent on the dog park. So the Recreation and Public Lands has been working close with the Parks Commission to write grants and fundraise to put in a new dog park. And this is totally shameless. That's my dog right there. Proud dog. This so far has been a great collaboration between PCIC, the Rotary Club, and many local contributions. We've implemented phase 1 and have a couple more phases to go, but we're very excited to have a dog park. Well, I'm very excited to have a dog park. So is Buster. So with the focus on the council strategic plan and building strong collaborations, great things will continue to come to the city of Painesville. At this time, I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Where's the dog park?
Do you know where Rotary Park is currently? Okay.
On Hine Avenue?
Hine Avenue? Yeah. So there will be extensive fencing and buffering and beautiful landscaping to protect the residents that are around the park, but it will be a beautiful place for all of our four-legged friends. Any other questions?
Yeah, if RTA decides to bring rail out Norfolk and Southern Rails, which is the rails by Giant Eagle, have you identified any areas where the train station would be properly placed to include Painesville on their list? Because they plan at this time to stop the rail in Menor, Ohio. So you need to get, the study's ongoing now for about a year. RTA has authorized a study. They've hired a company to study bringing their rail out, Norfolk and Southern Rails, not CSX rails where our station's at. I represent the Western Reserve Railroad Association, the group that owns the train station. And the rail they want to bring out is going to come out by Giant Eagle. So you need to get in touch with them if you haven't and find out how Painesville can be included as the last stop on their ride, just to let you know. We garnish very little respect in the city of Cleveland. So I'd just like to let you know and ask you if you would start a study and find out where you can place the station on Norfolk and Southern Rails, if they do decide to bring out rail on that set of rails.
So thank you for sharing that, because I was completely unaware that that was going on. So I'll get with my engineer, we'll reach out, we'll sit down and chat about what we can do.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yes, ma'am.
Are there plans for the old Lake East property?
Sure. So most people in this room have heard the plan for many years, so I didn't put it in the slide. But we are currently in negotiations with 2 final developers on that site. The whole goal is to make sure that it's a solid, sustainable development on that site. So the 2 final developers are residential developers. The plan meets our downtown master plan, which is to put a high-density residential piece on that property. And the reason for that, I know some people don't agree with the philosophy, but the reason is retail and commercial follow where the money is and the people are. Any commercial developer wants to know foot traffic, they want to know car traffic. They're not so interested in the philosophies, they want to know the hard numbers. So by bringing people into the core of our downtown, hopefully people with expendable incomes will help us build the rest of that downtown master plan, which includes commercial infill and other developments. Yeah, Kelly?
2 questions. On that Shamrock development, has there been anything specific talked about how they're going to make that buildable with that being so low? Is there going to be like a lake or something there? Are they going to try to raise that? And the other question real quick is that the senior development next to the Y. Maybe you said this, but are they talking about having a new senior center with that?
So Shamrock first, they have to do hydrology studies before they build a single home on that piece of property. But I can tell you that there's already been wetlands mitigation that have happened on that property. So it already has a certificate of wetlands mitigation. So it can be built on. It depends on how the study comes back, whether they can have basements or not. So it's really waiting on the developer to do that portion of the study. As for, what was it?
Senior.
Senior, yes. So I didn't have a picture of it, but there was a picture brought to the Planning Commission. The front side of the property facing Menor Avenue will have a small community center type building that is for that facility, but also that's where the senior center will be housed. So the idea is to bring the senior center near the senior living and the Y, so there's a collaboration that goes on there.
Monica, can you comment on, I'm putting you on the spot.
No.
About the age of, the median age of Painesville in comparison to the county?
Sure. So Lake County is aging, and you hear that a lot. A lot of communities are concerned about the number of seniors we will be seeing in the coming years. Painesville is actually very young in comparison. Our median age is around 35 years old. We have a very strong young professional area of our community that keeps that age low. So actually our goal in all of these developments, like the High Point site for instance, is to draw those young professionals to stay here and to live here and to play here and to help us redevelop our community. So in comparison to the rest of Lake County, Painesville is very young. Any other questions? Yes.
The Department of Highways in Ohio, ODOT has said that when they finish the 3 lanes out to Painesville, they're eventually going to put in new exits off of Route 44 South and cut out Jackson's exits. Do you have any prints on that yet?
So actually, I guess I didn't cover that very well in this. So that, there we go. So the great thing about this and part of the settlement was that we were actually able to overlay this entire development as a TIF district. So what we're doing is taking the TIF funds from this district and putting it into a pocket where we can actually use that, hopefully, for matching grants to redo the interchange. So the interchange redevelopment is, the money from the TIF is going to go toward finding grant fundings to match for the interchange. So yes, Jackson Street will be realigned. We actually got the property needed to realign it as part of the settlement. So we are prepared for when we actually get the funding and approval from ODOT to move forward with that. Now don't get too excited. It's still aggressive to say that 10 years from now it'll be built. So it does take a very long time to do those projects. But we are setting ourselves up for success in the future.
Thank you.
All right, if no more questions, we're going to pull a name for this beautiful basket over here, and then y'all can get back to your wonderful lives. Patrick Armstrong. Thank you so much, everyone. Have a great day.